The three blind mice, George at Hodge's Hot Wheels and Diecast, Lee at Time Rider's Wee Little Cars, and Paul at Fat Guy Productions, have been having build-offs between the three of them for a little while, and they've been producing some really beautiful cars. This time they opened it up for everyone else to participate in the fun. They had two rules. Basically, to use this Flashsider casting, it comes in a variety of colors and combinations, and to have fun doing it. So this is the one I happen to have on hand when they announced this. So this is the one we're going to modify. Now, they produce some really beautiful cars. I'm fortunate enough to have one of them in my collection that George did for the Matchbox number 36 Formula 5000 build-off. But this one I'm heading down a post-apocalyptic path, so pulled the tampos off with a dry erase marker, and that works fantastically to get off. I love it. It's really easy to do. Then I cut the post. There was a post sticking down from the roof of the cab into the cab. Cut that out of there, and then I went over it with some 4/0 steel wool to rough it up a little, make it look a little weathered. I didn't want to paint it. I wanted to keep that paint and give it a weathered look. So I started sticking 3D things on there. One of the things when you print 3D things, sometimes you need to use a raft to get it to adhere to the base. And one of my friends says, parts is parts. So the raft itself, that usually is junk, I used as a cover for the bed. I used some of this mesh for the windshield to cover the windshield openings, the side panel openings, and basically just kept sticking things on there that I thought would look good. 3D printed some odds and ends, and just kind of kept going. I wanted to have a tube going from the tank on the back to behind the seat, so I used a piece of wire for that. Got out the bathroom cleaner to clean the chrome off the base. Threw that in there for a couple minutes, and that always works really well. Then stuck the bumpers, the added bumpers I wanted onto there, and basically just stuck things on there that I thought would look good. Hit it with this Krylon metallic rust on the base, not on the top, obviously. I even 3D printed the wheels for this, which is a good idea and a bad idea, because the toughest thing about printing the wheels, I like the wheels, although I'm showing you that I put some axle tubes on there because I wanted to raise this up a little bit. But when you print the wheels, the hardest part is drilling the hole dead center on the wheel. So once you have that done, then basically it's just a matter of gluing the axle into the wheels. The entire axle is going to turn on that axle tube. It's not like the wheels are going to turn on the ends. So just got those glued on there, make sure that it rolls. And basically after that, it's just weathering. It's a matter of once all the parts are on that you want, just adding a layer of color to it. Hit it with the Citadel paints, which are just fantastic. The Rise of Rust, Typhus Corrosion, that's like dirt in a bottle. The Sharpie pens I love. They have a blunt tip that works out well for me. Lets me give it some odd detail. The SmartCraft pen, that's from Michaels, and they have quite a few colors, and they're pretty inexpensive. So basically, I just kept going over it, and I'd hit it with matte, flat, clear paint every so often, just to kind of see where I'm at, to seal in what's there so I don't screw it up, and just kept going. So the pins come in really handy for that, and the Citadel paints, if you screw them up, you can just kind of wash it off. There's that hose I was talking about. That was just a piece of scrap wire. I used little pieces to cover those openings above the wheels. And, once you have it all painted up and fancy, it's time to throw it all together. I know this is drastically different than a lot of the Three Blind Mice builds, because those guys really bust out some amazing cars. The paint jobs are hard to believe. The detail's fantastic. And like I mentioned before, I have one of George's cars, and just looking at that thing, it's hard to believe the amount of detail he can get into one of these little cars. And what you're seeing on the screen didn't even capture what's there. And so I'm honored to take part of this in this invitational. So there we have it. I got it thrown together. I was happy with how it turned out. The Gaslands cars for me are just a blast to build because I have fun sticking junk on there. And there's no pressure. When it comes to the paint, it doesn't have to look good because, well, it's not supposed to look good. And I'm happy with this one especially because the ones I've done before kind of look like a dirt clod on wheels. I have this tendency to make them too dirt colored. And so this time I really stayed away from that. So I hope you like this, like the video. Hope you like the truck. It's a short, stocky little thing there, and sometimes you don't know which direction it's actually going. Thanks to the Three Blind Mice, I'll have a link down below in the description to their website so you can see all of the other builds that are happening in this invitational. And I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel and watch future videos. And if you haven't checked out the Three Blind Mice, their individual channels, you're really missing out. You need to check those out. Not only are they instructional builds, but they're really informational, and they'll have you laughing along with them at other things. So thanks again to the guys. This has been a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody who's watching. You have a good one.